and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And we are here to talk about week one of training camp. I think it's pretty much, this is a full week one, right? When did it start? Tuesday of last week?
Yeah, I think today on Wednesday is the first full week of training camp. So it's 1 week in the books.
1 week in the books. Yeah. And by the way, tomorrow, first preseason game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will probably only watch a quarter, if that, and then change the channel. First of all, I am tired of the NFL shoving the Dallas Cowgirls down our throats. Now, this was the first year at Hard Knocks. I was like, oh, really? The Dallas, them? And then I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to. You could force Bill Belichick. Okay, why force Bill Belichick? They have a quarterback controversy. Cam Newton's always entertaining. They got a slew of new receivers. Really? Dallas?
Yeah, I would have loved to see that. Yeah.
I
think even the Panthers were eligible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were.
The Panthers are eligible.
Yeah, I would, of course.
Yeah, obviously we wanted them, but understand.
But yeah, week one's in the books, and even though they just put pads on for the first time on Tuesday, which yesterday, because we are recording on Wednesday here, there is some stuff to talk about.
Well, there's the big news that is hitting all NFL circles right now.
Right.
It's the Tuesday practice here in Carolina.
First day in pads.
First day in pads. There's a very scary moment. Safety JT Ibe hit wide receiver Keith Kirkwood in the head when he went up to make a catch, causing Keith Kirkwood to lie on the field unconscious for a little bit. Kirkwood was taken by ambulance to the hospital. The good news, he was released. I know when it first happened, there was a lot of repeats. Elena Getzenberg and stuff was talking about how, all he could move was his arms and stuff like that after he came to. But luckily, they released him. He was obviously now in concussion protocol, but the good news is they released him, meaning that it doesn't seem horrendous type of hit.
Yeah, and also released is JT Ibe. Ibe.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have made the team anyway.
No.
He was a fringe guy, but he did have this to say afterwards. Truthfully, I feel terrible for the play. I'm glad Keith is doing fine, but as a teammate, I'm supposed to protect my brothers during practice, and I didn't do that today. I let down the team and coaches. In hindsight, I should have pulled up and punched the ball out rather than taking a thud. I didn't have time to process, but I should have done that. I was aiming for the ball and didn't think I hit him that hard or launched into him. But looking back at the clip, there's different ways to jar the ball, and I didn't choose the most efficient way. I mean, obviously, no ill intent there. It was a bang play, but Rule had already mentioned the day before that he didn't like. Well, I guess a few days before at the.
It was 2 times he pulled the team together that the players were playing sloppy. That they need to be on their P's and Q's. They need to be, head on a swivel and everything. And this happened first day of padded practice. Low guy on the pole. I hate saying it. He got kicked out of practice right away. As soon as later on they got back from practice, they cut him or released him.
He was made an example of.
Exactly. And later on, Rule in a press conference says that he teed him up, that he saw on the film that he teed him up, and that's why he was let go. Because, you can't injure our own players. So, in the way the Rule said it, like I said, teed it up. If that's the way you saw it, it is his own teammate. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of discussion around should he have been released. A lot of fans talking about it, even some pundits talking about it,
and other players.
Yeah, Charles Johnson, former Panther, obviously not happy with the decision to let him go. But again, Rule made it very clear what he was looking for, what he was not looking for. And this was, JT was made an example of, unfortunately. And he, had this happen, had JC Horn done this, the outcome obviously would have been
Yeah.
different. But this was, sort of just a bad luck on JT's part. Also, he should have pulled up,
And he's probably one of those guys that's out there trying his hardest to,
he's trying to make a play, trying to, make the team.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Rule has brought out a tent with a sign that says DBO for don't beat ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, penalties and everything else in this sloppy play. That's big on his priority list right now at this training camp so far.
So do you think he should have been let go?
The only footage I've seen is not very good, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say from the way Matt Rule said teed up, I say yes, especially after having two come together at the practices to tell them to get straight, and then you launch into somebody.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I hate that this guy, is trying to change his life by making a team, and this happens, and yeah, I do think he was made an example of, as I said, but I agree. I think it probably was handled the right way. I mean, Dwight Schrute once said, if you want to consolidate power, fire someone on the first day, and Matt Rule has made it very clear what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and that was not acceptable.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I'm going back to Matt Rule. Just the way he seems to be running this camp is everybody's responsible. If you do something bad, you gotta run laps. I mean, that's what they were doing.
Running laps over and over again.
So if you do like a false start, he makes you run around. And there's some argument that says, hey, these are professionals. This isn't college. This isn't high school. But I kind of like it, especially for this young team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a super young team, like you said. And that Robbie Anderson was running laps today. He got into a scuffle with, I don't remember who the defender was. Troy Pride.
What happened is Robbie Anderson caught a pass. He went out of bounds, and out of bounds, Troy Pride took him down.
No.
And so Robbie Anderson got up, was upset, obviously, pushed him, kind of, scuffle.
I think he hit it. I heard he hit him from behind. So hopefully it was a push and not a closed fist to the helmet or something stupid like that,
That's what I got. I heard from behind too. And I guess I interpreted it as shoving him from behind. And
you're probably right. That's probably right. That's not what I had in my head, but that's much better than what I had in my head. Well, let's get to some good stuff here.
I was going to say, that's how I envisioned it. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. Let's get to some positive news. I think it's mostly all positive out of camp so far.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I haven't heard anybody struggling.
I've heard been a few here and there, but
I was going to say, I've heard that the offense has struggled early, but then today they supposedly got the better of the defense. So, I guess it's going to back and forwards.
I mean, maybe we should just start with the person that everyone wants to hear about, Sam Darnold, right? So he had a really bad day on Monday.
Yeah.
He threw 3 interceptions. One of them I think was tipped, but apparently the other 2 were pretty legitimate. Had some high throws, just didn't seem to be on it. Although Matt Rule, maybe it was yesterday after practice, Matt Rule said he had watched that tape on Monday and said that Darnold was not really that bad. He wasn't the problem. The guys were running wrong routes. The offense overall was really out of sync on Monday. Yeah. But then yesterday and today, Wednesday, Darnold came back. Today, Darnold looked really good. Today, and I watched quite a bit of practice, and he was making some really nice throws.
And here's the thing, too, with interceptions. This is the time to do it. This is the time to learn, okay, I can't fit that in. And, okay, I'm going to have to check this down. I'm going to have to throw this one away. And this is the time to learn that. And the coaching staff is treating Sam Darnold, from what I'm hearing, like a rookie. Like this is his first season in the NFL. They're kid gloving him. They are treating him like that. And that's the way to do it, because he's only 23 years old. If you want him to be the franchise quarterback, which this coaching staff does, I think you have to walk him through this. And I think that's the best way to do it. And, hey, like I said, up and downs.
Yeah, I agree. And then, he played for the Jets for his first few years. And honestly, are they even really an NFL team? Let's be honest. They haven't played like it
Well,
in
I was going to
years.
say the first 3 years where Sam Darnold was, probably not. I mean,
Yeah.
this
With
Soleil
Adam
looks
Gase
like a
as a
good
coach. And yeah.
Soleil looks like a good coach, and they finally got some weapons.
Yeah. Well, he's got weapons here, and he's been using them.
Yeah.
Who do you think we should talk about next? Should we talk about Horn? Should we stick with the offense? What do you think?
I say let's go ahead and jump on Horn.
Yeah, I think that's the guy, jump on Horn. Yeah, that's the guy I think that's the guy everyone else wants to hear about. So also has been having a good camp. 3
Yes.
interceptions for him alone so far.
Yeah, I've only heard glowing things. The only negative I've seen is where he was beat one-on-one with Omar Bayless. He got juked out of his shoes, and I believe Darnold threw Bayless a beautiful pass. And I think that was the first day of camp in shorts and t-shirts. So
right. Yeah, I mean, so if we're gonna go a little on the needs improvement side, he's been extremely handsy.
Oh, yes, I've heard that
some
too.
holding. He's been really physical. And from what I understand, there have been multiple times where he'd have been called on a PI.
Yeah. So he's been running lots of laps.
Yeah. So he's got to clean that up. But his instincts, his hands, everything else looks top notch, like you would expect from a top 10 pick.
And that's his not coming out of college too, was that,
right.
He does get a little handsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in Seattle for years, those guys were extremely handsy, and they'll call it once or twice, but they're not going to call it all game. So he's going to have to learn to pick his spots, but so far very encouraged by JC Horn.
Yeah. Jeremy Chin supposedly looks like he is building off his stellar rookie season. People are saying he's sideline to sideline, just looking great out there. So that's good to do.
Nickname. Have you heard his new nickname?
No, I have not.
Baby LeBron.
Oh, yes, I did hear that.
Because he can do everything.
Because I heard someone calling JC Horn seatbelt.
Yeah, because he's got that seatbelt celebration that he does.
Oh, is that why?
He's locking them down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And not a fan.
Yeah, he's done that a few times. You don't like seatbelt as a nickname?
I'm not a big fan of the seatbelt nickname. But if he picks off a few quarterbacks, I'll probably be up there doing the seatbelt celebration.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. What do we got next? Let's talk about the offensive line a little bit. So Taylor Moton has been getting a lot of reps at left tackle, actually.
Yeah. A lot more than expected.
Yeah, more than I think we were led to believe. They said he was going to get a look there, but he's been playing a lot over there. Though it seems like Cam Irving is the guy at left tackle right now.
I think they have Cam Irving pretty penciled in there. But they want to see what else is going to happen. Now, again, in another press conference, Matt Rule said, I want the 5 best players out there for that offensive line. He doesn't care about positions.
Yeah.
So I think what he's doing is he's trying to hedge his bet, make sure if Cam Irving isn't the guy, that Taylor Moton could maybe kick over there. Trent Scott could go out right tackle, or Brady Christensen. They have more options that way if need be. And that's kind of what I've understanding from what it is. It's Cam Irving's position to lose.
Yeah.
But there is a possibility he can lose.
And Cam Irving's looked okay in practice so far. But his body of work thus far in the NFL has not been stellar. So we'll see. Personally, I mean, if Moton is a stellar right tackle and just an average left tackle, then put him at right tackle and figure left tackle out. I mean, put him where he's going to be most effective.
Yeah.
So the offensive line overall, though, has not looked great against this awesome defensive line that we currently have.
No, I've watched some practice, and it seems like Sam Darnold was completing passes But he would have been sacked way before he got the
there
ball
are
out.
several times he'd have been sacked. Yeah. And Chin, as you mentioned, Chin has gotten to him several times. Burns has gotten to him several times. Reddick, I saw, got to him. Again, they're not sacking him, but they're getting right there where they would have sacked him in a real game. So,
yeah,
man, I cannot wait until I honestly can't wait till the first preseason game just to
Me
see
too.
these guys live and where they can hit. I'm stoked about it. The defense is I think the offense is going to be really good if Darnold works,
average.
but the defense could be top 10.
I agree. I think this defense is scary. Yeah. And I think if Horn continues to grow, Dante Jackson plays like he did last year when he was healthy, this defense could be scary good.
Yeah. They're not super deep.
No.
The starters are all pretty high quality NFL players at this point. So, outside of maybe safety, although you got Chin there, but the safety position overall, Sam Franklin has looked terrible. He has been getting beat over and over and over again. So they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something to shore up at least their depth there.
I mean, you said Sam Franklin. I haven't even heard about Burris. I haven't
heard much about him either, positive or negative.
And he's the starter, so.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about safety as being a need for this team, so it continues to be a need.
And who knows? I mean, there's quite a few decent safeties still out in free agency. And you were talking about left tackle being cut. I can easily see finding a decent or good safety being cut or released because some reason the NFL just doesn't put a premium on safety anymore.
Yeah. And the Panthers have plenty of cap room.
Yeah.
The last time we talked, they had the third most in the league, and they haven't signed anyone of significance in terms of diminishing that at all. So they're still right there. Let's talk about tight end a little bit.
Okay. Dan Arnold is supposedly having a really good camp. Matt Rule called him an excellent receiver.
Yeah. So Arnold and Darnold are developing. They're developing like a really nice chemistry. And, I have not been super high on Dan Arnold up to this point, but just kind of seeing him out there and seeing some of the catches he's making and the chemistry that he and Darnold are building together. I mean, I'm on board. Like, let's go. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch him.
Well, I hate to bring it up, but Ian Thomas is supposedly has played with the ones, and he's looked good as well. He's made some nice catches, made some first down catches and stuff like that. And from what I've read, I'm not out there. I can't, is that tight end race is close, and that all three tight ends have looked really well in camp so far.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I haven't heard a ton about Tommy Tremble. I hope to hear more about him as camp goes on. Ian Thomas, I know he's running with the one some. I would assume that Dan Arnold is the starter. I mean, based on what we've looked like.
I think he's penciled in starter. It's the Cam Irving thing. You pencil someone in as a starter, and then if they play like the starter or the other guy plays better, then you start using that eraser.
I could see. I mean, I still don't think Ian Thomas makes the team, just because I think Dan Arnold is, even though Ian Thomas has made some nice plays here, Arnold has made a lot of nice plays. Arnold's making more money, and Ian Thomas doesn't block well. So I don't know that he has a place on the team, honestly.
We'll see.
I mean, he's not making a lot of money, so he may just stick around.
And you never know that he may be put on special teams and he can shine there. I mean, he's a fast, big guy. I mean,
yeah, true. All right, let's go down to backup quarterback. So both of the guys have sort of been alternating. PJ Walker, Will Grier have been alternating running with the twos. Lately, Will Grier, the last few days, really since, I guess, pads started, Will Grier's been the guy.
Yeah.
I was watching today, and honestly, PJ looked better to me. Will made a couple of nice throws, but he's holding the ball so long that I don't think he would have
gotten the
had
ball
the
off.
time, to make the throws that he was
That
making.
was his problem his rookie season when he got playing time, was he would hold the ball too long.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if this team goes out and finds a veteran backup, because from what I'm reading is that both have looked bad.
Yeah.
And you're going to have Sam Darnold, who has never played all 16 games, start for us. PJ Walker did all right for us last year.
Yeah.
But should we not be looking for someone better?
Honestly, man, I think that ship has sailed. I don't think they're going to bring in anybody else. I think, in fact, Rule said he wasn't even sure if he was keeping 2 or 3 quarterbacks. So it's quite possible that it's Darnold, and I would say PJ probably has the leg up at this point just by being more familiar with Rule being more familiar with him from college, and from actually being the main backup last year. So I would say that PJ's probably got the leg up there, but I could easily see Will Grier joining Ian Thomas on the waiver wire.
Oh yeah, I could too.
Now,
go
ahead.
This camp battle, you and I did not discuss because I didn't think it was going to be a camp battle.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like Jermaine Carter is running as the starting middle linebacker while Denzel Perryman has been running with the twos. I thought Carter would be more of the outside linebacker, and then they put Perryman in the middle. But
I wouldn't read too much into this. I think Perryman is the obvious starter when it actually comes to it. Rule was talking about Perryman. Did I say Carter? I meant Perryman. Perryman, either today or yesterday, and just, talked about how incredibly athletic he was and that he's everything that was advertised. He just has to stay healthy. I think Jermaine Carter might be getting some looks just in case, in case he has to step in there. But, of course, Shaq's a little banged up.
And Perryman's banged up.
And Perryman's always banged up, unfortunately. And that might be why Carter's getting so much look there, because he may have to play there.
Yeah.
A decent amount.
I was also thinking about this. They may be running kind of more of a 2 linebacker set a lot of times too, and have Hassan Reddick Hassan Reddick as the other linebacker.
Or Chin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's gonna be a lot of that. Yeah.
So
yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of that. All right, let's talk about wide receiver. Because I think we're going to talk about third wide receiver, and then I want to talk about sort of the back end of the wide receivers too. But both of our rookie wide receivers have been making some plays.
Yes. I have it written down. It's over. Terrace Marshall is your third wide receiver. It's not really much of a question. He's been considered almost the MVP of this camp so far. Him and Horn. Again, it always goes to the rookies anyway. So
yeah, Marshall has had a couple of really good days where he's made some really nice catches. I don't know if I'm going to say it's over at this point. I think David Moore, if the season started today, I think David Moore would probably be the starting third receiver. But I think Terrace Marshall is on his way of unseating him, if not already there.
This isn't Ron Rivera. Rule will play rookies.
Oh, I know he will. But yeah, Terrace Marshall's looked great. Shi Smith also has looked very good. He's made quite a few plays. My main note for Shi Smith is I wish he wasn't wearing 12, because it is confusing to me. Because I'm seeing like number 12 out there making a great catch, and I'm like, DJ Moore? No, not DJ Moore. Not DJ Moore. He's wearing 2 this year. So, Shi, there's going to be some confusion there if I bet with some of the broadcast if Shi is out there a lot wearing number 12.
And I think he's about the same size as
he's a couple inches shorter, but it's there.
Yeah, he's 5'10".
Yeah.
DJ's 6'1".
6 feet. Yeah. But I wanted to did you have anything more to talk about with those guys?
I was about to, but then I just lost it.
Oh,
I was going to talk about, I think Robbie Anderson. I think it was Robbie Anderson said that Terrace Marshall reminds him of Demaryius Thomas. Just his size, his athletic ability. That's a great person to be compared to.
Yeah. I mean, that he was an all pro for Denver. Yeah, gosh, if that's his upside, then sign me up. I mean, that's
Exactly.
awesome. I want to talk a little bit about sort of the back end of the wide receiver position because Zylstra has been looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've got Shi Smith. Kirkwood, unfortunately, this might, he's in concussion protocol. This might derail his chances here. And I know they really like Kirkwood, but it seems like he might be the odd man out.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he was having some decent plays out there, but Zylstra just seems to be making plays everywhere, and I think they're going to give Shi Smith the nod because he's also looked good. He's made some really nice catches, and he's fast.
And he's good. He's going to be the return man. I think that's another part that he got drafted for was returning punts and kicks. Omar Bayless has made some good catches and, beat Horn.
Bayless was the other guy. Yeah.
But I mean, the bottom 2 or 3 spots for wide receiver are insanely competitive.
Yeah. It's a fierce battle. And it's going to probably be determined in those preseason games. The guy, how those guys look out there. And I'll be interested to see, because usually you'll have the starting quarterback throw to some of those, back end guys a couple of series in that second or third preseason game. So it'll be interesting to see who those guys are. But let's see what else we got.
I was just going to bring that up. How nice it is to actually be able to look down the roster and kind of look at the bottom receivers and be like, wow, that's some good competition. They're all making plays.
Yeah.
And just thinking about like 4 or 5 years ago when, Philly Brown was starting.
The number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Trenton Cannon also getting a lot of work at wide receiver, the running back from last year. And I mean, a lot of work at wide receiver, almost exclusively at wide receiver. So I'm curious to see if they keep him on the roster as a running back, but he's just, becomes a slot guy or a guy
special
running out of the backfield.
Team utility type of guy.
Right.
Yeah. I could see that.
What else we got? What other notes we got here? Joey Sly. I will say Joey Sly has been getting some rave reviews. Like they're really high on Joey Sly this year.
Yeah. Well, they have no competition. So that is good. That I've read the same thing that he's been like 16 out of 18, but drilling the 50-yard plus, he's been working out on his own and constantly.
Yeah. He's one of the first guys out there every day to practice and, just kind of doing his own thing out there,
It's training camp. It's so hard.
Are there any other kickers even in camp? I don't think there are.
No, he's the only one.
He and Charlton, I think, are the only two. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. I think that might be all I have.
Yeah, that's all I have for right now.
You did have here that let's see, undrafted running back Darius Clark was carted off the field.
Yes.
He's in concussion protocol as well. And then there are a few injuries. We kind of mentioned a few, but Perryman, Shaq Thompson, AJ Bouye have all sort of gotten little tweaks here and there. But so far, it doesn't seem like there's any like major, 6 to 8 week injuries that have happened with any of these guys.
No, I think AJ Bouye, he's going to be the longest injured one from kind of seeing what they today. Everybody was in pads except for him. He was just wearing his jersey, no pads, and kind of was.
And they will be
still
overly
working
cautious,
out, but not.
Yeah, they'll be overly cautious at this point. Like, no need to, especially with him because he's not going to play the first 2 weeks of the season. He's suspended, so there's no rush.
And there is another punter on the roster, Oscar Dragovich III.
Oh.
So there's 3 people in the kicking room.
Now, was his father also a punter?
I'm going to go with his name was
Junior?
also Oscar
we called him
Dragovich.
Junior. Yeah, we called him Junior. And we got a couple of transactions here to kind of go over.
Yeah, the Panthers signed safety Doug Middleton, wide receiver Keshawn Hogan. Panthers claimed linebacker Nate Hall, probably to heal up some of the linebackers that are injured right now. And they have waived fullback Mason Stoke, and we've already talked about JT Ibe. Yeah. So.
Yep. I think that's going to do it.
Yep. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like our show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. And if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@MeowMix Podcast. I just forgot what I was saying. Mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com.
I was like, there's another part to that. We'll be back soon. If anything, awesome happens in camp, we'll maybe come back and talk about that. But at the very early or very latest, we'll be back early next week to kind of recap this next week of camp and get ready for the first preseason game, which is on the 15th. I think we're one of the last teams to have our first preseason game. So it's on a Sunday.
FanFest is Friday. I will be there sending out pictures. I don't know if I'll be able to do much else than that.
Yeah, Jerry will be wearing a MeowMix t-shirt. So if you see him out there, say hey and get a picture or whatever. We'll put it on Twitter. We'll post it on the Twitter. All right, everybody. Until next time, stay safe out there and keep pounding.